A Democratic Congresswoman faced a judge today after a made-for-TV scuffle. Earlier this month, Congresswoman LaMonica McIver pleaded not guilty and was released on her own recognizance for assaulting police at an ICE detention center in New Jersey. Here's the video. You can see it. Democrats called the charges proof President Trump is weaponizing the Justice Department against a black politician and a woman. Here we go.
I think they went after her, and I think her race has something to do with it. I'll just flat out say that.
They come for LaMonica today. They'll come for any of us tomorrow. And we are standing between tyranny and justice.
Those charges are baseless and politically motivated.
We know that women in Trump's America are not safe.
Interesting. They can say that, of course, but we have the video. You can see her there shoving and pushing. She showed up in an ICE holding facility that allegedly had murderers and gangbangers there. She wanted to demand her right to an inspection. She then got into a fight with ICE agents, you can see there. So let's apply the same standard to her, a sitting Congresswoman, as applied to a former president. So remember just a little while ago, nobody is above the law. Or what would have happened to anyone else? And that was always the question in the Trump classified documents cases. If anybody else did it, what would happen to them? So again, watch the video. If you or I showed up in an ICE facility and scuffled with federal agents in a publicity stunt, what would happen? Well, I've been there when people scuffled with federal agents. They were thrown to the ground and handcuffed. So yes, Congresswoman McIver did get special treatment. She was never arrested, got to attend her first appearance at a court hearing remotely, was released on her own recognizance. No harm, no foul. This is the problem with the new standards set by Biden's Department of Justice and by the other Democratic prosecutors who went after Trump. They saw a person and they found the crime. They charged Trump with falsifying business records, conspiracy to obstruct justice, unlawful retention of national defense information, and more. Then they made things up to go after him. They saw nonviolent January 6 rioters and threw the book at him because it was politically expedient. An 81-year-old Army veteran was sentenced to 3 years of probation for illegally breaching the Capitol building. He committed precisely no acts of violence. 72-year-old Rebecca Lavarez, otherwise known as the January 6 praying grandma. 6 months of home confinement, and get this, for comments she made after the fact, comments the judge didn't like. And 45-year-old Brandon Straka was sentenced to 3 years of probation, but says he was on the opposite side of the building of the riots and didn't see any of it himself. There's reasons to support that claim. The Biden administration also saw nonviolent pro-life protesters and sent SWAT teams to arrest them and gave them long prison terms. So what we are seeing right now from the Trump Department of Justice is not a double standard. The Trump Department of Justice's prosecution of a Congresswoman is a more generous standard. How do we know this? Because when confronted about it, McIver and her supporters, like James Carville, made it about race, not the law. This is, of course, how I view it, and it may shock you that not everyone agrees with me. So we bring in our next guest to try and prove me wrong. With us, Niall Stanage, White House columnist for our partners at The Hill. Welcome.
Good to see you.
Everything I said was correct, and we can end the segment now, right?
Not exactly.
Okay.
Not exactly. First of all, let's start with first principles here. The Congresswoman was doing her job. That's what distinguishes her from you or I. A member of Congress has the right
to fight with federal agents
without prior notice to carry out oversight of federal detention facilities. You are then taking footage which we showed, which was of a melee, as absolutely positive proof of guilt. It wasn't. There was pushing and shoving going on. We'll see if there is more evidence than has been presented so far.
This was a publicity stunt.
Well, that's irrelevant whether it was a publicity stunt or not. A publicity stunt doesn't leave someone susceptible or open to the charge of assault if they didn't assault anyone.
So you're saying this is not probable cause of assault?
I'm saying that, to me, there is not definitive evidence in any of that.
That's why you have a trial.
Exactly. And that's why she has the right to presumption of innocence, as we all do.
Absolutely.
Now, furthermore,
but the accusation is not that she is innocent. The accusation is that these are politically motivated charges.
Well, I think in that case, then, you have to look at the fact that President Trump has attacked judges attacked law firms, attacked colleges.
All things that Joe Biden did.
And they're not comparable to what Joe Biden did, Leland. And the point about it is that because of that record, people see this in that context. Now, it is one second. I don't consider it racially motivated. It's not about the color of the Congresswoman's skin.
So why is she making it that way?
It's about the thinness of President Trump's skin to any form of dissent against him.
I don't think this is a form of dissent. This is a form of public discourse and I'm trying to think of the right term, of sort of some type of civil disobedience. And back in the day, when you did civil disobedience, you understood that there were consequences to it. You wanted to turn yourself into a martyr, which seems as though exactly what she wanted to do. And when she was turned into a martyr and ended up on MSNBC time and time and time again, suddenly she was angry that the federal agents took her up on her offer of getting arrested.
To the extent that she was made a martyr, as you put it, was because of the denial of access to which she was entitled to an immigration facility that is run by a private prisons corporation and has 1,000 beds.
And she was denied access because also she showed up with the Newark mayor, who does not have a right to access. And there wasn't a fence built yet. So there were reasons to not allow her instant access. The fact that she invited TV cameras there kind of says what her motivation was, right?
I think that we, surrounded by TV cameras, are in a bad position to be complaining about politicians seeking publicity via the TV camera. Of course you are willing and desire media attention if you believe a wrong is being done. You want media scrutiny.
And you want to be
on
arrested
that
to be
wrong.
made a martyr, which is what
You don't want to be arrested, Leland. She wanted to investigate a facility that has been sued by the city of Newark.
So she thinks that she's going to push her way past ICE agents. Who in the world thinks, oh, hey, I'm going to take on a row of federal agents?
The law is clear-cut that a member of Congress has the ability to inspect detention facilities without prior notice.
Okay. I call this a draw. It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you.
Thank you very much. We first wrote about this in War Notes. That's your chance for an inside look at the show every day. It is free, warnotes.com to subscribe. You'll be delighted and smarter.